First of all, I've seen what everybody's been doing. It's great stuff. It's good to see a lot of martial artists transitioning into the things that honestly everybody should transition into. People are starting to do that more and more, I notice. They just starting to understand the combative route to jiu-jitsu, which is something I've always implemented throughout the years and always believed that if you start working on a street in a format that is progressive in the dojo only, you get yourself in trouble, as you guys all know, a lot of you guys that have trained. So what we're doing is we're making sure that the roundhouse punch, that we can block these punches, the straight punch, so we can move but be very close to the man. We don't want to get in the habit of coming in from a straight punch here, breaking in here, coming in and doing a lot of the movement that doesn't allow you to simplify on the street. So there's that scale. All of you know that how I feel about that. I think there's a very, very important balance to learning martial arts in the dojo and transferring into a street environment or a combative environment where you can end the story very quickly. I'm not looking to be fancy, but I want everybody to understand that as much as we like to move in our jiu-jitsu, like jiu-jitsu or karate or taekwondo, you cut corners when it comes down to the street. So what we're trying to do here is, all I want you to do is understand movement. It comes in with a straight punch. I want to see you make sure you're tight in here, as opposed to coming out here, which is the way we used to do it a lot. The way I've always been taught is to move away and then enter in, or move away and then obviously break and then enter in. Techniques you're learning, always, I like to straight punch again from here. Know that there's a striking pattern involved as well. But for this technique, we'll get a couple different progressive techniques that I like to do, variations off of. Is this straight punch, one here from this position here, two from this position here, bring it back, three from this position here, four in, five in, and then throw. Okay, so watch again. What we're trying to do is, I want you guys in this class to understand how your hands work. And then when you start to understand how your hands work, all this stuff becomes much simpler. He comes in here, one, got to break in here. Two, got to lock in here if you want to go into here. You got that, everybody? Three, you got to come down from this position here. Four, switch your hands around. Five, down, my hand move. Move. Six, up. Seven, down. I can turn it here, break, or throw. You can choose to do whatever you want to do. So, but I want you to transition. Listen, we all know that when we do kata, we do technique in the dojo, the yuki makes you look great, as you can see, with a lot of different things. Joe just made me look good, but ultimately in the street, nobody's going to be falling the way you fall in the dojo. So I'm more concerned with two things. This guy throws a roundhouse punch. Can you block it without worrying about stepping away, without worrying about stepping into the motion? Can you block it from here? Not even thinking about this, thinking about what I'm going to do after this, here, as opposed to trying to think here and then switch it up, come into these motions, understand? Same thing with the straight punch here. I'm more concerned with moving this quick and knowing that when I move, I have something. Listen, again, in the dojo, it's a totally different ball game. We all want to make our arts as exciting as possible for our students. But we don't want to get so complicated that they get lost within the art. Make sense? I want to try to make sure that it's simplified. Coming up the ladder as a young guy, young boy, growing up, and having my father and a Saito always being a yuki for everybody, because that's what I was. I was basically a ragdoll, because I knew how to fall real well. I learned a lot, but I also learned that, you know what, this is how it works here, this is how it doesn't work here. Make sense? So you got to be able to take and say, okay, how do I balance that? So when he comes in here, once again straight, in this position here, we have a break in here. Lock in here. Down my hands, I turn my hands. Don't get you. See, this is why people get hurt, because they hang on to everything and they start cranking. And they don't realize that, you know what, people can only take a certain amount of pain. So we want to come from here to here, to here, to here, to here, to here, to here, and then from here over,